All right, NFL Conference Championship weekend is officially here. We got 4 teams left, 3 games left in the NFL season, which is crazy. The year has gone by so quickly, but it's been such a great season. NFL wise, here on the show, you guys have been amazing. I can't say enough good things about all of you who have tuned into the podcast, who have supported, who have liked, commented, subscribed. I appreciate you all so damn much. It's been just a blessing to have this platform and grow it here on YouTube for the first year and on Instagram and TikTok, obviously, for a few years now. Believe me, we got so much in store for the offseason to keep you busy with NFL content as we await for next season. But let's not jump ahead. We got 3 more games left, and they're going to be awesome. I cannot wait to break them all down for you. Today, I'm doing the NFL Conference Championship preview, so both the games on Sunday. We're going to go through them real quick. I'll give you my insight, the breakdown of each matchup, and let you know who I got going to this year's Super Bowl. While you're here, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been great doing that all year long. Shout out to my sponsor, Big Third Down Shop. They've supported me all year as well. Hooked me up with some NFL branded hats, including this JV Show 1 embroidered. They fit great, look great. Get yourself a hat for whatever NFL team you support. The link is right now available in my bio to shop. The hat's bigthirddownshop.com. The link is in my bio. Ladies, gents, 2 games ahead of us on Sunday. First and foremost, New England Patriots visiting the Denver Broncos. With no Bo Nix, the matchup feels incomplete. Seriously, it really does. You have to be devastated. You have to be feeling so bad for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, who worked so hard to get to this point, the number 1 seed in the AFC. They take down the Buffalo Bills, my Bills, and Josh Allen last week. They deserve this spot. They deserve their starting quarterback in the lineup. Now, that's by no means a hit or a dig at Stiddy. I think he's going to do a good job this week. But this is Bo Nix's team, and this is what he worked for, so it was really unfortunate to see him go down. Stiddy steps into the lineup. It'll be interesting to see how Sean Payton deals with that. But once again, the Patriots, little bit of luck on their side here. Look, New England's got a free ticket to the Super Bowl. It is right there for the taking. This is a team that feels like within an instant rebuilt from being a dynasty back to being on top. Bringing back Mike Vrabel, first as a player, now as a head coach. In year 1, Mike Vrabel built something that very few head coaches will in the NFL. And that is a championship roster from ground up, from a team that won 4 games last year, I believe. That's pretty incredible. Drake Maye, who's played great football all year long, an MVP candidate, and with a great defense and honestly average weapons, they put together some great wins. They were the number 2 seed in the league, and there's a good reason why they're at this spot right now. I applaud the New England Patriots. It pains me as a Bills fan I'm supporting today, but it's the truth. New England's got winning in their blood, man. It is something that they do. It's in their genetics. They know how to win over there. And now they're looking at a Super Bowl. And if I'm Vrabel, I'm Drake Maye, I'm Robert Kraft, I'm sitting there, I'm like, listen, like, this week by no means is an easy game, but I'd give us like an 80-20 shot. I'm picking the Pats in this game because they have the starting quarterback, because the defense is great, and because, honestly, they've won 2 playoff games without having great performances from their MVP QB. Like, let's be honest. The Patriots still haven't gotten a good playoff performance from Drake Maye. If we're keeping it real, he hasn't been good in the playoffs. He's turned the ball over a bunch. He's made a ton of mistakes. And yet they're still putting up 28 points last week and beating a really good Houston Texans defense. If the Patriots can get one of the signature regular season games out of Drake Maye, they got to be one of the scariest, if not the scariest team in this playoff picture. They got to be feared. Because this is a team that can win when their QB is average or below average. But when Drake Maye is his accurate self, when he is making plays, when he's got the confidence, got the swagger, when he's finding Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, talk about a miraculous one-handed catch on the weekend against the Texans. Derek Stingley Jr., by the way. They can get things going. This offense, if it can get rolling, if Travion Henderson can catch that spark, Ramondre Stevenson, yes, very slow, but does his job very well for this offense. And against that Broncos defense, I'm looking at Hunter Henry a lot as well. Tight ends feast against Denver. So, of course, I'm going the Patriots in this game just because there is no Bo Nix. It's hard to side with Denver here, although I love Sean Payton. I think he was a genius against us last week. Really picked us apart. I see the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they are right back at it. They are a franchise that has experienced a ton of Super Bowls, a ton of success, great coaching, great quarterback play, and now they got that again. And they could very well be champs of the AFC again, which is crazy to say. Talk about started from the bottom, now we hear. Quoting Drake now. Started from the bottom, now we hear. All the way up to the top. I got the Patriots in this game, but I will say, and I said it on Instagram this week, and I said it last week on the podcast as well, Sean Payton really, really impressed me last week. It was a game that you watch, and if you turn on the film and a few of the personnel adjustments that he made and just picking and choosing his matchups, it was very impressive. This game solely relies on Sean Payton. You can't ask Stidham to be a 350, 400-yard passer in this game with 4 TDs. It's just not reasonable. So it's going to rely on Sean Payton. Sean Payton's got to coach the game of his life to advance to the Super Bowl. And even then, once again, he's going to have to do it because, sneak peek, but if he's going up against that Seattle defense, I mean, that's New England, Seattle back-to-back. That's tough. That's tough to do as a play caller with a QB that hasn't thrown a pass, I believe, since 2023, which is crazy. So this is a game, and listen, I called Sean Payton my X factor for this team going into the playoffs because even with Bo Nix, the Broncos don't really have a ton going for them offensively. Courtland Sutton, probably the lower end of wide receiver ones, although I want to give him his respect. He's great. He's made some crucial plays all year long. They don't have a ton. You know, the backfield is all right. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. I don't know what J.K. Dobbins is looking like this week. I don't know how his health is progressing if he plays in this game or not. But again, like, you're looking at your number 2 option, and it's Evan Ingram, it's Troy Franklin, it's Marvin Mims. It's guys that you don't rave about, right? So that was where my thought process was heading into these playoffs with Sean Payton saying, like, hey, listen, if Denver's going to want to win games, it's going to be on the back of Sean Payton play calling and calling his ass off, really. And he did it against the Bills. What I'm expecting from this game, just to lay it out for you, if we're being realistic with how we believe Sean Payton's going to call the game, it's going to be very similar to what Bo Nix was at the very beginning. Very simple, short passes, easy completions, lots of screens. Denver does that pretty well, so expect that to be a crucial part of this game plan. Get Stiddy in the mix. Maybe you toss a double move or two in there, a slant and go, a stop and go, something like that, and out and up. Try to get New England sleeping. That's how you win the game, right? And you're going to ask your defense to step up and make plays. And you know what kind of shocked me last week about this Denver defense? There were a lot of like bend, don't break, but they broke a lot against the Bills. And speaking with some fans of the team, just because I feel like the general consensus on Denver's defense was that it was always pretty good and a pretty elite unit. But to close out the season, they just weren't that elite, to be honest with you. They're still a very good defense, like PS2, reigning defensive player of the year. They added Hufanga, who's an absolute beast, heavy-hitting guy. Drake Greenlaw, Obviously, they got a bunch of guys up front who have put pressure on the QB all year long. I believe they lead the league in sacks. So, yeah, they have players, but to end the year, it's kind of been like all right, mediocre. They're going to need to step up. Like, the game is on the back of this defense in Denver and Sean Payton. Sean Payton's got to call the game of his life. You can't ask Stidham to do too much. You really got to dumb it down for him. Win on first down. Pick up a few yards. Get second and medium. Get second and short. Get him confidence. Throw the dagger shot when it's there. And play conservative football. You're not going to win this game by slinging the rock 50 times and asking Stidham to throw posts and digs and corners and timing routes. You got to keep it simple. And that's what it's going to look like. And it's going to rely on this defense being a heavy-hitting unit that puts pressure on Drake Maye. The thing you look at if I'm Denver right now, if I'm Vance Joseph, I'm saying, well, Drake Maye's turned over the ball a lot. We're playing at home. Our fans will give him some problems offensively with the cadence. Let's get off the ball. Let's get after Drake Maye. Let's put pressure on him. Let's force the turnovers. Let's make him uncomfortable. Let's get him out of his groove, and that's how we win this game, really. I'm taking the Patriots. I don't know if I said this, but to me, the odds are 80-20 New England. Unfortunately, we don't see a Bo Nix this week, but with Sean Payton, you never want to count him out, right? It'll be a good game. I hope so, at least. That's the first game of the weekend. The second game of the weekend, Los Angeles Rams visiting the Seattle Seahawks. I said this last week. Seattle is the best team remaining in the playoffs. And the Super Bowl is theirs if they play good football. Position for position, they've got the most talent. They're the most well-rounded. They've got good coaching. They check all your boxes. The run game has been on absolute fire with K9 and Charbonnet. You still got JSN. Shaheed has made how many game-changing plays as a punt and kick returner? And the defense is just a scary, scary unit. I would argue the best remaining in the playoffs. And if they play at all like they did last week against the 49ers, when they blew them out by like 35, I get the Niners are an injured team, but to blow any team out and put up a 40 bomb, that's saying something about what you got in-house. The keys to the game for Seattle, okay? Keep the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands unless it is a necessity. That he touches the ball, that he throws it downfield. You'll live and die off the run game in Seattle, off K9 and Charbonnet, who, to end the year, not just in this playoff run, but to end the year, have torn things up. And that's how Seattle has won games. That's how they won to close out the year. On the back of K9. That's how they beat San Francisco in Week 18 and got the bye. So, as much as you can, limit Sam Darnold. And I said this in the preview of the divisional round. And what did they do? 17 pass attempts for Sam Darnold. He completed 12 of them. If you saw that stat line, you'd be like, oh, what was the score? Yeah, 41-6 was the score. Because your special teams units will put you in good field position, might even score. Defense is always going to help you out. You can always bank on that. Mike McDonald's boys, always in good shape. And then the run game's good. And when you got to throw it, well, luckily you're throwing to arguably the offensive player of the year. Or Rashid Shaheed, who's a great deep threat. Or get this, Super Bowl winner, former triple crown receiver, Cooper Kupp. It's a good team, man. It's a good team. And I think they got a clear shot at the playoffs. I liked them in this game. I'm going Seattle. For weeks, I've been talking about the Rams. Ever since that loss to Carolina, man, I have not liked the team at all. It feels like there's been something wrong with them. Listen, if they win this week, if they win the Super Bowl, so be it. I was wrong. There's something just feels off to me, you know. The Rams have been riding this fraudulent wave for weeks now. And they've been holding on by a thread. And that proves true in the wild card when Carolina almost beat them. Last week when the Bears should have beat them, if not for a very aggressive coaching decision. Play call from Ben Johnson, and interception from Caleb Williams. And the weaknesses just scare the hell out of me. In Seattle, very tough environment, great fan base, very loud. The special teams issues in LA, the secondary, I just think they're going to get exposed. Expect a Rashid Shaheed touchdown return, kicker, punt, whatever it is. Get him out there. That's how you win the game. That's how you swing the momentum. And the Rams, like I said this last week. Listen, I've bet against them pretty much throughout the playoffs. Besides that Panthers game, which also scared me, they've just been riding the fraudulent wave. And unless you're a fan, and even the fans know there's been something off. Even a guy like Matthew Stafford, who you'd expect to be on his A game in the playoffs, really hasn't been. He really hasn't been. To end the year, he's thrown some weird interceptions. He hasn't really played a complete, full, pitch perfect, yeah, that's my veteran, he's won a Super Bowl type of game. He just hasn't, right? So last week he makes a huge clutch pass to Devontae Adams on the sideline, and that's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, and he puts him in field goal position, and Thicker the kicker, he knocks it down, and they advance against a good Chicago team, absolutely, but Seattle's a different beast right now. What I will say is, when you look at their previous two matchups in the regular season, the first one, Rams win, but I think Darnold had like a million turnovers, and I think they only lost by like a score, maybe 1 or 2 points. And then the next one, Rams have complete control, but the special teams, the issues, let Seattle back into the game. Shaheed with the big return. Darnold, ice in his veins in overtime, delivers. So expect it to be a close game. It's a divisional battle. You never know. This is the exact same as the regular season, right? You never know with those divisional battles. I don't care if Cleveland's playing Baltimore. Anything could happen, right? So anything can happen here. But I do like Seattle the way they've been trending. The last point I want to make about the Rams and Matthew Stafford. And let me explain myself after I make my big statement here. But I do think when you look at the game that we're about to watch, and when you consider legacies and everything, Matthew Stafford's legacy is on the line here in this game. Not in a will he make the Hall of Fame sense, because that's a slam dunk in my opinion. I think he is absolutely a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's won the Super Bowl, slapped that on the resume, and he's been one of the best passers of his generation. But is he going to be one of those guys on that list of the best to do it, the elite of the elites? Because right now he's not. And if he doesn't win this Super Bowl, if he doesn't get another major accolade under his belt, he's not going to be up there. Now, whether or not you believe that matters, I don't really care. I'm just saying what it is right now. For us to put Stafford in the discussion of I'll just say the elites, okay? I won't name names right now just because I don't want to start unnecessary controversy. But if we want to put him up there as one of the best, not just a Hall of Famer, but one of those guys, this is a legacy-defining year. Another season with the Rams with Sean McVay. You could be the MVP. Imagine he wins the MVP at this age and the Super Bowl. We're talking about a whole different stratosphere for Matthew Stafford, man. Hall of Fame guarantee, absolutely. But also important for his legacy, I think. That's maybe a little bit underrated at this point for some people. But regardless, amazing career. Stafford could absolutely do it. He's a guy you got to trust in the playoffs regardless of if you're a Seahawks fan or a Rams fan. You got to be scared of Stafford, man. He is very, very good, lethal, and he is calm, composed under pressure. Expect him to have a big game with Devontae and Puka out there. Both of them will be great games. I can almost guarantee you that. That's a wrap. That's 20 minutes. Quick preview of both games. And my thoughts, I'm taking Patriots and Seahawks What a world. What a world. I can't believe we're back here, man. Patriots, Seahawks, that's my pick. Have a blast watching these games. Soak it up, live it up. These will be the last ones we watch before the Super Bowl. And then we're in the offseason. I don't want to talk about it yet. We'll get into all of that at a later date. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Enjoy the games this weekend, and I'll catch you soon. Peace out.